Hello YouTube, this is Reno Dan. I'm making a video here for my buddy Emerson Reddy. He asked me twice now, have I heard of the CFMoto 450 SR? I looked it up a while ago and I haven't really made him a video to say what's up. Now I am going to do that. And we got a nice little beat here. Let's go have some fun, shall we? So let's take a look at this vehicle. So like any modern day R3 400 or the new inline 400 that's coming out from Kawasaki, they all have the 600 styling. And to most people who don't know motorcycles, it looks like a 600. It really does. And that's cool because you can tell that it has the full fairing kit. Back in the day when I was riding, not to get off topic here, but might as well, the Ninja 250 did not have a belly pan, and it wasn't as cool as this. But hey, here we are. So let's talk about this bike a little bit, and then I'm gonna show you some dyno graphs of bikes that I do know, and let's get into this video. Sorry for being tongue-tied. Let's get into this video the best I can. So he asked me, and I'm gonna give my honest opinion. So right off the bat, we have Brembo brakes and a radial brake calipers. That's pretty awesome, actually. The Ninja 400 does not have it. You can put it on there, but it's a cost. This comes with it from factory. Pretty sick. You have inverted forks. That's a nice touch, but they are not adjustable, so you can't adjust the dampening or rebound. So eventually cartridges will be made, have to be made. I don't know what's going on with the rear shock. They didn't really specify it in the chassis. So we go to chassis, it says front suspension, rear shock, Brembo caliper already. You can see the Brembo already said it. The reason why that you know that this is a 400 instead of a 600, because it doesn't have dual calipers. That's one of the telltales. So here we go. You're looking at a 110/70 and a 150/60 in the rear. That's basically your traditional Kawasaki or R3 400 300 typical tire layout. It's fine. So it's not like it's too bad. Again, you know, this is your typical modern day little bike, lightweight styling. The swing arm doesn't look too bad. I do like here, this will make changing tires a lot easier, but most people, you guys don't deal with that. You'd probably just take it to a shop. I'm just looking at it at a racer's point of view. I don't like this swing arm. I think it's a little cheaper on the cheaper side, and I don't think it's aluminum. I checked the weight on it, and the weight is almost, I think it's 370, and the Ninja 400 is 368. So it's pretty lightweight. So it's not bad for a 450, but let's get into why I think it's kind of bad. The engine's kind of lackluster. So at 9,500 RPM, it only makes 49 horsepower. It's okay, but there's no dyno graph, so I don't know how the power is made. So let's get into, so here, I know it's kind of small, but I can't blow it up because I don't own this dyno graph, but just bear with me. So if we go into the corner here, with an apocalypse and a tune, the Ninja 400 will make the same horsepower as the CFMoto 450 will. Yeah, you got to put a muffler on it and get a tune, but it will make 49 horsepower and 28 pounds of torque. It's the same thing. And stock, it makes like 43. I've seen as high as 45. It all depends on how you get it from factory. I've seen them really good and I've seen them really bad. And one of the things that makes the Ninja so good is the torque curve. See how it how it drops off at the very end, but it flattens out, which means that even when you're in the high revs, it's still kind of making power. It's not like it dies. Like my R3, its torque curve was up, 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 and then it died. So if you didn't shift it at a certain point, you were just losing horsepower. You weren't making horsepower. And that's what it goes back to this. I don't know what this torque curve is. They didn't throw it on the website. I don't know if it just goes up and up and up and then flattens out like the Ninja 400, which is really good, or if it goes up and then dips and dives and dies. It's not desirable. I don't know it. I do know that it's a parallel twin, which is some of my favorite engines. The parallel twin engines are pretty darn bulletproof. They run hard. If you watched any of my, I know you have, but if you've seen some of my race videos when I was racing almost 4 years ago, I get my R3 into the 13,000 RPMs and it was still just blasting away. These parallel twin engines are super strong and they're so durable. So that's a good thing. Another thing too that I noticed about this bike that was okay was, let me get into the chassis here. We don't know what the center shock is. We don't know if we know. Obviously, we know it's a monoshock, but we don't know if it has. Obviously, there's no reservoir, but we don't know much about it. So we don't know if it's going to be soft or it's going to be firm. There's a lot of things we don't know about this. We don't know who makes this. Is it KYB, or we don't know who is the shock components. It doesn't say. All we know is there's a Brembo brake caliper. So there's a couple unknowns here on their website. Again, it's a good looking bike. Will it run? Sure, I think it's gonna run. Would I pick this over the Ninja 400? Probably not. And the reason why is because on the Ninja 400, I can go to Spear's website, this website, and products, go to Ninja 400, and I have pages upon pages upon pages of just parts. And I don't know how many parts will be available for the CFMoto. I don't know if it's going to be raced. I don't know if it's being raced. I haven't done that much research into it. You just asked me what I thought. I went to their website and there's not a lot of information. I know it's not being raced in Moto America, I can tell you that. It might be being raced in overseas. I know the Philippines and Asia, they definitely have a strong racing over there, and they might have support, but you're not going to have some of the big manufacturers support. Like, for example, exhaust systems. You're not going to get, these are the big guys. The Apocalypse exhaust. You're not going to get some of the biggest exhaust companies in the world making exhaust for them. M4 is a good one. You're not going to get Spark's another good one. You're not going to get the support if it's not being raced. And again, I don't know if it might be being raced, but I don't think it's being raced in Europe. And I know for a fact it's not being raced here in America. So that's the extent of my knowledge on that one. And the reason why racing is important is, like I've always say this in the past and I'll say this in the future, is that racing is the reason why we have these exhausts. Racing is the reason why we have all these air filters. Racing is the reason why we have ceramic ball bearings. Racing is the reason why, I'm going to repeat myself, we have all these parts available because somebody wants to take a stock bike that's meant for cruising around town and to make it into a raced machine. Racing is the reason why we have CNC ported heads. It's incredible. You gain horsepower. You can make a super awesome build. And then you can get your dyno run and you can see the graphs. It's incredible. Anyway, so let's get back to this. And you asked me what I thought, and it all boils down to aftermarket support. No matter how good, this has a nice screen. I give you that. This screen's nice looking, and I think it's a touch screen on top of that. It's a beautiful looking screen. You can tell there's no adjustability because right here there would be a valving system. There's no adjustable, so you have to put cartridges in. And do they have cartridges for this bike? These are the type of questions that the owner of the bike is going to have to look into, unless you want to ride it stock. Now the problem with most middle lightweights like this stock is that usually these are meant for like a 140 or 150 pound rider with full gear on. If you weigh more than that and you're over the desired height, now you're going into issues like, do they have rear sets? Because for the Kawasaki Ninja 400 I can get Vortex, I can get Woodcraft, I can get whatever I need, and I can adjust my riding position because I'm tall, I'm 6'3", and I had to do that. These are the type of things that if you want to buy a bike that's not supported by the aftermarket, your part selection may not be what you think it's going to be. And again, I haven't done a ton of research into that aspect of it because this bike's still new, and there's no price on their website even how much this costs. You can request a quote, but I'm not going to do that. You just asked me what I thought. I'm just going off of their information and what I know. But having said that, I think that you're better off getting a known bike. And I think Honda made a really awesome 700 this year that might be a really better contender than the 450. And it's supposed to be pretty cheap too. I think it's the Hornet. I think I saw a review on that. I'm not gonna look it up. I might look it up. Let's go. Yeah, I don't use Google, but that's fine. Alright. Sorry, this is a long video. I should have been prepared for this, but it's the way things go, So, alright. Okay. It's Fireblade. Alright, Super Sport. I thought I saw it was a Hornet. Twin. Maybe it was a European model. That's a bummer. I swore I saw it. I saw it. Huh. Well, color me stupid. Alright, well, I know I subscribe to like European stuff all the time. It's probably a European bike. But anyway, oh well, bummers. Well, dang. Anyway, I can't find it. But there's a new bike coming from Honda that I think will be pretty much in the price. And just like the CF, like the Honda, I would never buy this bike. It's too expensive. Right here with ABS, $7,000, wouldn't do it. I'll just get the Ninja Inline 4. It's gonna smash this bike anyway. Like, not even like consideration on that one. Done. Gee whiz. Yeah, I don't see it. Alright, well, let's get back to the video and then we're gonna wrap up. So let's wrap this up. So the reason why aftermarket support is important, let's say you don't like your clip-ons. I'll use this guy's wrist right here as an example. I saw this earlier. He's leaning on the tank, but see how his wrist is downward right here? He's not ergonomically sound, which means this needs... Crap, it moved on me. This clip-on needs to be at this angle, not this angle, right? This is meant for an upright riding position. Woodcraft makes these for the Ninja 400, but I don't know if they make it for this bike. This guy needs it because his wrist right now is bent, and that's not going to be good for long-term riding. See again, see how his wrist is bent? That's not ergonomically sound. He's not going to be comfortable for hours and hours on the bike. Right here, his wrist is perfect, but he's leaning off the bike again. You know, that's a good ergonomic angle, but that's horrible. And that's why you want aftermarket parts, because you need to be able to change. And even right here, his foot, he's laying on the ball of his foot, because this rider right here isn't even set up for this bike. He should be on the ball of his feet. a little more instead of the middle of his foot on the foot peg. I'm pointing this out because the rider needs some adjustability, and there is none for this bike. That's all I'm saying. Ergonomically, the rider isn't perfect. So I'm gonna leave it at that. So there you go. Hopefully that answers your question. Do I think it's a beautiful bike? Absolutely. It is beautiful. Do I think the power on it is as good as Kawasaki 400? No. Because all you have to do is throw in a pipe and a tune and you're right there at the same amount of horsepower. And the Ninja 400 has a really good dyno. I mean, it runs out and flattens out. I mean, that's perfect. You want that in a motorcycle, so even if you don't miss your shift, you're still making power. You're not coming up and dipping. So if you come up and dip like this, that means you're losing power if you shift too late. So I mean, ideally the Ninja 400 is a really strong motor. I haven't seen the dyno on this. It might be exactly the same, it might be better. There's bikes out there that make power to the very end. I mean, it just keeps going up and up and up and up. I mean, it just depends on the motor and how they make it. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. Do I think the bike ergonomic will fit people? I think it will fit some riders, but even their own factory rider, you could tell he wasn't ergonomically good. So it means the clip-ons need to be at a different angle. Woodcraft may or may not make parts for them. Guess we can check that out real quick. Then we're going to end this video. I know it's been running a little longer than I wanted it to. Alright. Let's see. Make. Street bike. Make. No, it's not even on here. They have Aprilia, Buell, Ducati. Buell, I mean, that's wild. I don't see them on here. So there is no support from Woodcraft on this. So that's the harsh reality when you buy a brand that doesn't have the support. Anyway, alright, well, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped out, and if you have any questions on it, let me know. But that's my honest answer, and it may not be the one you're looking for, but it always boils down to parts and support. I don't care, you can have the most exotic, beautiful bike in the world, but if no one's making parts for it, then you're kind of an island. You're stuck, and that's the truth. And that's one of the reasons why I always try to stick to like a very popular brand, because for me, I'm tall. I'm always making some kind of ergonomic adjustments. And if I don't have the parts to do so, then I'm really stuck with the bike I can't ride. Alright guys, you have a nice day. Thanks for watching.